Hi Aries, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you. And there's no date on this reading, so I trust that when it comes into your feed, it's meant for you. In today's reading, I'm going to be using the Ehrenberg Tarot as well as clarifying with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. And I'm going to start off by looking at what are you being asked to release that is no longer serving you right now. So let's have one card for that. You have the King of Swords. And then what I want to do is I want to find out what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing. So we're going to be doing some shadow work in the second part because what's coming up for needing to be released can only be released once you heal what's sitting in the shadow that's coming up. This is your unconscious. This is from childhood. This is from adolescence. So what's coming up here from your shadow that needs healing? That you need to get to before you can release what's no longer serving you. So we're going to ask for one card here. And it looks like it's that one. You have the Knight of Wands. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for guidance from the tarot. So, remember that this is a healing journey. It's a process. It's not something that's going to happen like this. I'm not going to give you a magic pill. But what's nice about this section is that it's going to give you something you can focus on right now. All right, so let's ask for one card for guidance. And then you have the Ace of Swords. So let's clarify these three cards and then I'll get on with your reading. So give me some more information about King of Swords. A couple cards for the King of Swords. One more card. Yeah, wanted to come out, I could tell, but I wasn't going to force it. Four Pentacles in reverse. It was like, I want to come out. Knight of Wands, couple cards here. I love sometimes when that happens, when there's certain cards are meant to come out, whether that one had a little twirl before it went upside down, but yeah, you just know it's meant to come out. Well, that one almost. One more card for me here. There we go. So you have the Ten of Swords and the Ace of Swords underneath your Knight of Wands for your shadow. And then the Ace of Swords here. A couple cards for that. There's one and one more. Yeah, that one's looking like, I'll pick that one because it's sitting here like this and there's no other way I can put it back in the deck unless I physically have to turn it. So it's the Wheel of Fortune. It's funny that I said physically have to turn it and I get the Wheel of Fortune that turns, right? So one more card. There we go. And that was a Three of Cups in reverse. I decided to go into reverse as it fell and hit my hand. I have a Queen of Pentacles sitting here, which is really interesting because I didn't call it out and I don't remember it falling there and I didn't see it. And so this is an odd card here, but I can't ignore it. It's sitting right beside your king. And so there's a bit going on here with the king and the queen beside each other. I'm going to start off, I'm going to leave her right here, the Queen of Pentacles, but I'm going to get right back to her. So let's start off with what are you being asked to release that's no longer serving you? Yeah, look at this masculine figure. Do you see the eyes in particular, how they're just so focused on something, right? And it has this sword right in the middle of its eyes. And the sword alone, whether it's the page that holds it or the queen that holds the sword, that single sword, because it shows up for you again in the advice from the tarot with the Ace of Swords, right? So that single sword represents your authenticity. It's who you are, like who you really are underneath all those masks and, underneath all our conditioning and all our patterns and all our trauma. Who you are. This is the king that's holding this. And the king of my deck, because this is a healing channel for me. And so I've been doing my own parts therapy for 9 years intensively now. And so I've been able to apply my parts work to my cards, which is a gift actually that's come through my healing. And so in this particular card, this king represents ego self. All the kings in the deck represent our ego self for different reasons, right? And in this case, he's holding this authentic sword. And the king will do everything to block our authenticity. Our ego does not want to go towards our authenticity. Our ego is only interested in status quo. It's only interested in putting on those masks that we've learned to put on since childhood and go out into society and play these different roles and parts of who we're not. So underneath all of those masks is our self. And so what's happening here is you have a very strong part, your ego self. I call it my controller. That's my part. And so your controller is out right now. And it wants you to believe that it's you. And that's what our ego self does. Our ego self wants us to believe that this is really us. And the reason why this queen has fallen here, she's the feminine side to us. Our ego is our masculine side. And so she's the feminine side to us. And she's coming in here. She's wanting to come into your life like that, trying to almost butt in here into your reading. She fell down here. Notice how she has the pentacle. The pentacle is the body. It's the earth element. It's grounded. She's very, very grounded in her own body. And so there's a real call and a need for you to get back into your body, right? Because our ego self lives in our head, in our mind. It's the one that keeps us spinning on things and wants us to keep busy all the time so that we don't go into our body and feel and heal what we actually need to do. And so that's interesting that you've got this battle here, right? And maybe you're feeling it, right? Maybe there's a lot of torment into your, inside of you, in your mind, in your head. Your ego self will try so hard to keep you up in your mind. And underneath this, as a what are you being asked to release? Well, you're being asked to release your ego, believe it or not. You don't get rid of your ego, but you ask your ego self to step aside so that you're able to do some of this healing and hear the other parts that want to come forward and tell you things, tell you about their big emotions, tell you about their memories, tell you about the trauma that happened to you. That's what our parts are. They're like our own inner family, right? You've probably heard of inner children, but inner children are part of our parts, and we have all these parts that are going on inside of us. And so the Ace of Pentacles is your first clarifier here, and it's interesting because it talks about how you have this battle going on where you're being asked to, ask your ego to step aside because there is a new start. There's a new beginning. There's a new offer for you, and it's in reverse because there's a resistance on your part, and we know that. There's a resistance on your part to take this pentacle. It's the same pentacle that she's holding. It's the same pentacle as this next card that's coming up. You have 3 cards here in your introduction that have a pentacle in it. So the pentacle is our body. The pentacle speaks about being grounded, being in our body, right? We forget that we have this body. We think that our mind is who we are, but it's not. And so the Ace of Pentacles is this offer that says, here's an offer for you to get back into your body. Have you forgotten about your body? And there's this big resistance. It's like, no, don't dare go there. And that's your ego self going, don't go there. And then this 4 of Pentacles comes up. 4 of Pentacles, and it's in reverse. And the 4 of Pentacles in an upright position talks about this individual that's holding on. It's a miser card, holding on to something maybe material things, maybe holding on to our health, something about our health. Believe it or not, I've been around some people lately where I've just realized how much they don't want to let go of the health condition that they have. And to a point where, it's something that's literally killing them. And I was actually talking about to my parts coach yesterday. And I said, why is it that some people can literally just hold on to this chronic illness, this, whatever it is that they have, and they don't want to heal. They don't want to get into their body to heal this, because we're meant to heal ourselves. And it's because the controller is just preventing you from doing it. So what are you holding on to right now? You are being asked to release something. Maybe it's something to do with your health. Maybe you suffer with depression. Maybe you suffer with anxiety. Maybe you suffer with addictions. Like, what is it that you're suffering with that you don't want to let go of? But that's what you're being asked to let go of here. It's like you've been dealing with holding on to this pain of this for so long, right? Think about it. What is it that you suffer from? What's this pain that you're suffering from that you've been holding on to, right? Like tightly. And it's like, here's your chance now to get into your body and to start to feel and find out, where's this come from? Why do I have this? And there's some healing that wants to take place here. And so what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing? This is the second part. What is it that needs healing here? So that, you can start to release some of this and get back in your body and get grounded. We have the Knight of Wands here. The Knight's in my deck. Another part. We all have this part for sure. It's that part of you that wants to be authentic. It's that part of you that wants freedom. It's the wand. The wand is the suit that fights for freedom. It's, it's ready. It has those little budding branches on it, and it's ready to go. This knight is ready to go. And so I think there's a part of you that's ready to go, that's been pulling at your pant leg, going, let's go. I want to go here. I think when you were younger, there was a part of you that wanted to do something. There was a part of you that had dreams, right? That dreamed big, and maybe you know what some of these dreams are. Sometimes we know, sometimes we don't. But there's something here that's tugging at you, that's been tugging at you for a long time. But I see here that because it's in your shadow, that tells me that you weren't allowed to do this. And there's some real anger under here. Like, I think when you were younger, you were prevented or discouraged from doing what you wanted to do, right? And oftentimes when we are shut down from people around us, if you're dealing with something, for example, like depression, well, that's coming from when you were shut down when you were younger, right? There's a memory. Depression is not reflective of what's happening right now, even though our ego self will convince us of that. It's what happened to you when you were younger. And so right underneath the Knight of Wands, that part of you that wanted the freedom, the part of you that's continuing to pull at you to go and do what you want to do and be authentic. Authenticity is coming up big time in this reading for you. Well, you have the Ten of Swords when you were younger. Let's look at the sword. Like we talked about the single sword as being, your authentic self, your true self. Well, these are all the things that people would have told you when you were younger. Swords are our mental thoughts. They're our mental energy. And when you were younger, you were told all these things about yourself. People told you things, right? You're not smart. You're not good enough. You don't matter. No, you can't do this, right? I think we established that there was things you wanted to do when you were younger and you were very much discouraged. But look what it did to you, right? This is an end of a cycle. It did you in. It did you in when you were younger. And, I can't make this stuff up, but you've got the Ace of Swords right here. I missed it. You have the Ace of Swords right here. You've got the King of Swords coming out here. Then you've got your Ace of Swords in your shadow. And then the universe picks it up again right here for you. So here is that authentic self. This is you. This is the beginning of you being you. But it's buried right here. And that's why the universe wants to take it out again as advice from the tarot. It's like, let's go back to this, right? We talked about what is the Ace of Swords by itself. Well, it's an offer. It's the beginning of who you are. But you lost that because people told you so many things when you were younger and you believed it. And your ego self right here is continuing to believe it, right? It's walking around like this is you walking around going, this is me. This is what people told me I am. And that's who I'm supposed to be. Well, no, it's time to tell the ego self to step aside because the real you, your true self, your adult self wants to come through here. And so what guidance does the tarot have for you? Well, the first thing, like I said, was the Ace of Swords. The universe wants to offer you that again, right? It's not too late. Maybe you've given up. You know, you've fed up. You have this health condition maybe going on. Maybe you're sitting in some kind of a job that you're not happy with. You've given up. But let's go. No, it's not too late to find out who you are. I have heard so many times in myself, it's come through my own mouth. It's like, I'm too old for this now. I can't do this now. It's too late. I've raised my kids. I've established my life. I'm retired. And here I am just feeling like I'm beginning my own life. And so here, this is offered to you. It's like, here's the Ace of Swords again. Here's your authentic self. Here's your chance to discover who you are. Right underneath it is the Wheel of Fortune. And you know, this is the wheel of life. This is like the wheel. It's going to continue. It doesn't stop. Sometimes it reminds me of that Ferris wheel where it's always going. It stops to let people on and off, but it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. It'll stop. It's kind of like our life, right? Our wheel, we stop sometimes. Sometimes we got to take a rest from what's going on. Sometimes we're jolted. Sometimes, you know, we get the tower moments coming in, but it's going to keep continuing. And it's like, this is like a major change of circumstance card. And this is a reminder to you, like, here's your chance. Here's another chance for you to find out who you really are. You can make this wheel keep turning in a different direction if you want, right? You get to decide now. When you were younger, you couldn't decide. You were a kid. You couldn't decide. You weren't able to, right? You relied on adults around you to decide, and they told you who you were. Now you get to say who you are. And the last card that comes here is your Three of Cups. Beautiful card here. It's a celebration card of these three feminine figures, right? We had this feminine Queen of Pentacles here come in right at the beginning that fell. And I didn't even notice it her there, but she's part of this reading. And so here you are, the three of them. These three clinging their cups together, right? The cups is that sign of emotions. And that is a beautiful feminine quality that we all have. There are some emotions you're being asked to embrace, that feminine side of you, because when you get grounded, there are going to be some emotions that need to come up. Maybe some anger at these people that told you who you were. And that's not you. Your authentic self is coming out here. But first, there's some healing that needs to be done before you can go into that next direction. And so I want you to have compassion for yourself, Aries, for what you're working through. I know this is a very difficult journey, the healing journey, but it's the most important journey of your life. Take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.